Hello and welcome to this Analyst Angle. I'm Rob Strechay, Managing Director with theCUBE Research. Today we're going to be breaking down what is going on in building a winning product and services, and how do you really win in this economy, and really looking at across all of the technical things. But in particular, I thought it would be really good and interesting if we could get a perspective from someone and a company that has been in the news a little bit lately, in case you've been under a rock, for providing customers with a way to secure their cloud landscape, among other things. With that, let me welcome in Oron, who is the VP of Product Extensibility and Partnerships for cloud security company Wiz. Hey, Oron, how's it going, man?
Hey,
It's been a while since we've actually, seen each other face to face. So this is fantastic. I appreciate you coming on board, and beautiful view of Tel Aviv behind you there. So great backdrop.
yeah, hey Rob, thank you for having us. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. And I'm really, really excited about the opportunity to talk about cloud and cloud challenges today with you.
Yeah, and again, you and I have been playing around with cloud for quite a bit now. I mean, it's we've developed product together in past lives, and really, why don't you though break down and kind of give people an idea about your role at Wiz and what Wiz is up to, because there may be some people who've not heard of Wiz. I don't know who, but maybe not.
So I'm the VP of Product Extensibility and Partnership at Wiz. I've been here for more than 3.5 years. And basically, Wiz is a CNAPP, is a cloud native application protection. Our goal is to protect everything you build and run in the cloud across multiple clouds. We support today AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle, Alibaba, and we are able to connect to the cloud environments, see everything, have full visibility on everything you run across multiple architecture, VMs, serverless, Kubernetes. We also able to understand what is the most critical attack path, reduce the risks for you, reduce all the alerts, focus on the most critical attack path exist in your environment, and help you remediate as fast as we can.
Yeah, no, I think that to me, you and me have been big advocates of multi-cloud for over a decade now. I mean, again, both of us have known each other for about a decade. And I think when you start to look at the complexity of multi-cloud and that security attack surface, it's just so complex. So what are some of the main challenges organizations are facing today with that cloud attack surface?
So basically, a lot of customers have a multi-cloud strategy. And with that come a very big problem of visibility. It's very hard to understand today across multiple clouds what kind of technology is running in my cloud environment. And it's very hard to understand that. And Wiz is able to do that through the agentless scanning. We are connected to the API of the different clouds. We scan them, and immediately you have visibility to every technology that's running in the cloud. The second challenge cloud introduce is basically new risks, because there are so many different alerts, so many different signals, and it's very, very hard to prioritize what should you focus first and what you need to remediate. And the third challenge is ownership, because if you will think about that, 20 years ago, most of the time, like the CISO, the security individual was responsible for things running in the production because everything was on-prem. Today, any developer see a new scalable database in one of the clouds, and he want to embrace it into their production environment, he just use it, push it into production, and all of a sudden, they are also become responsible for running production environment in the cloud. So introduce also a new ownership model.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely key. I mean, we're going into next week is KubeCon in London. Everybody's going to be talking cloud native. Everybody's going to be talking that. I'll be there. theCUBE will be there. It's going to be, I know Wiz is going to be there. So for people, go check them out on the floor there. But one of the things I wanted to delve into, because I think this is near and dear to my heart, and it's your job, is really tell us a little bit more about the approach to technical partnerships that Wiz has, and more about the WIN program that we hear about? And first off, what does WIN stand for? Because again, you try to break down the acronyms as we go along here.
Yeah, definitely. So I think one step before WIN, just to explain how we are able to do our risk assessment, and basically Wiz is all about democratized cloud security. Our approach is everyone in the organization, your developer, DevSecOps, security team, incident response team, SOC team, everyone need to have access to one single platform in order to do better collaboration and remediation. Now, how we are able to do those? Think of, and you bring like the Kubernetes approach, right? Assume that right now you have a running Kubernetes in the cloud. We're able to detect if you have a container run a specific critical vulnerability, and this specific Kubernetes service is actually actively exposed to the internet. If the attacker will compromise this asset because the asset is exposed, and in this asset you have a key that then you can lateral move to a crown jewel asset, that's what we call the attack path. That's what we call reducing the risk and focusing on the most critical attack path you have in your environment. And then on top of that comes the operational flow, because most of the time organizations, they have Wiz, obviously, and they have other tools. They have different ticketing system, messages system, data lakes, of compliance reporting system. Many other tools exist in their day-to-day operational flows. So 3.5 years ago, when I joined, we didn't have a lot of integrations, but we cannot work with a handful of them. And then we identified that in order to do the operationalization side of Wiz, and again, it's all about the democratized cloud security, we need to build a platform that it will be very easy to integrate, whether it's pulling data from Wiz or sending data out of Wiz. And then when we thought about, we need to have a technology program in place so other partner in the industry, other ISVs, will be able to create official integration on top of our platform to do complementary solutions to Wiz. And as you mentioned, in past life, you and I work a lot about integrations and connecting to other tools, and it's always a challenge, right?
Yes, yeah.
And the APIs, getting access to the environment, it can be a matter of months until you get something up and running. So with all the experience that we brought, we said, okay, let's build this technology partnership program. And obviously, most of the time, people doesn't know what is the name of the technology partnership. You sometimes you know that there is one. So first of all, we name
Well,
it.
by the way, I mean, I like it because, win is a good, everybody wants to win. So,
Exactly. So WIN stands with Wiz Integration Network.
nice.
And this logo is let's win together. Our approach is to collaborate with others, ISV in the industry, because it's what best for the customers, best for us. And I give a very concrete example. Okay. You have your system, you develop your system, and now you're able to integrate with Slack. But guess what? You come to a specific company and they're using Team. The other company is using other chat, other Jira ticketing system, Monday.com, Zendesk, so many different options there. And basically, you want to give everyone the capability to integrate with everything. So we named the product, the program WIN. And the core thing was we need to build a platform that everyone can have access. We have one single rule to connect to this, to join this program. You need to be an ISV and you need to have a shared customer with a clear use case. For example, someone wants to pull the Wiz issue, which is the toxic combinations, into their system for whatever reason. I don't know, data lake. So you come to this program, we build a developer platform with a sandbox environment behind the scene that you can actually pull APIs, and it's very clear. You come to this program, you want to have a use case of pulling Wiz vulnerability. Great, thumbs up. This is the API that you need to use. This is how you do it. This is the best practice. This is the recommended script. Thumbs up. Within a matter of a week, you have an integration up and running. And basically, one of the things that we've done is we take the product partnership side of the house, part of the product team. Because what we believe, in order to build those kind of technology partnership, it has three elements. It's what we call co-build, co-market, co-value. Co-build mean you and another ISV want to partner together, and you find a customer that has a shared use case. For example, they want to pull vulnerability out of Wiz, they want to pull Wiz issues. You bring the integration up into speed, you add it to the marketplace, we have it in the website. And then on top of that, we are promoting a lot of, okay, what is the go-to-market together? What is the joint solution brief? Why those two companies partner with each other, right? How is the data flow look like? What is the better together story here? And in that case, then you see the co-value. Co-value means then we measure how many customers actually use this integration. And the co-value piece is the most important one because it doesn't have co-sell motion. Co-value mean if you build the right integration, customer will embrace that, and you see the amount of customer using the integration actually goes up, right?
Are you tracking that stuff so that you understand how much value they're getting as well?
Exactly. This is the core value is the key element, because think of that, and you were a VP of product, as a feature in the product. If you didn't build the right integration with the right solution, if your co-build wasn't the right one, then the core value won't be the right one. I mean, you won't see the amount of people actually installing this integration, right?
Right.
And then you need to go back to square one to your co-build. Maybe you didn't understand the use case. Maybe the API is not there. Okay, so it's like a circle, and it's very, very, very robust. Okay, so we build that partnering. Right now we have more than 300 partners in this program, and
Wow.
I'm again, Rob, it's ISVs. It's not company that just build integration. That means there is a company behind this product that want to integrate with Wiz. And we have officially more than 150 available integration already that was graduate this program. And now the mutual customers can enjoy this collaboration.
Do they go to your, do you have like a marketplace? Do they go to the other vendors? How do they go and approach this? Because to your point, I mean, security is one of these things that it's so broad, and there's, especially with cloud, having been at AWS, and the attack surface is just massive for these organizations. How do they approach either their current vendor or you and their new next vendor to really get that integration going?
Yeah, so it's basically it's really depends. Sometimes we have the customer approaching us and say, okay, for example, we are using this product, can Wiz integrate to this product? Okay. Sometimes we have just requests, and again, everything is in the website. Every ISV can apply through the website of Wiz. Just go to Wiz integration. We have over there, win with us. Just apply, very few clicks, and we get the request. Sometimes partners, ISVs, come into the program and say, we want to be part of this program because this specific customer requests that we will partner together. And we collect all the requests, and basically the goal is to do as much as we can. By the way, sometimes it's not just like integration we build with ISVs. We also integrate with a lot of native services of the different cloud vendors, okay, across all of the different clouds.
Yeah, that
so we
makes
also
a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly it. So is that being like AWS? You said AWS, Ali, GCP, Azure. These are massive clouds, and I don't know that the VP over EC2 is clicking on win, but is it driven by their field teams, or is it because they there's over 300 services at AWS? Is it driven by some of the customers? How do they how does it usually roll with even some of the bigger people?
Yeah, so again, it's not like one way. Sometimes it's customer requests. Sometimes we see a lot of demands to a specific service. Sometimes we see, I don't know. We started to scan, for example, in Wiz. We also scan beyond cloud. Okay, we also scan some of the big SaaS vendor. For example, we have a connector to scan your Snowflake environment, and now we are also working on others. Okay, we are also working on scanning your MongoDB and Databricks and etc. So it's always about customer demands. Our goal is very simple. What's best for the customers, this is what we will do. Okay. Again, everything is about customer demands. If they want us to partner, integrate, cover specific service, that's what we will do.
And that must help you prioritize on the back end because, again, no matter how big a company is, and Wiz is fairly big now, in the 3 years it's grown a lot since you've been there, and others, and good congratulations to the team and all of that. But you must have to go through this and rank it, and hey, this is where we're going to get to. How does that work with the partners? And you must have to communicate back and help them understand. Or is it like you said, you talked about the co-build part of it as well. Is it, hey, if they want to accelerate, they can put more resources at it, if maybe they're not prioritized in the same way that the Wiz folks see from that perspective?
So basically, Win provides the partner to build integration on top of our platform. And the good thing is, Rob, no one shared the code with each other. Everything is purely API based.
Great.
Okay, so you know your product better than us. We know our product better than anyone else, right? So we can explain to you how to pull data from Wiz. And the good thing about that, it depends on the other ISV. From our perspective, we give them all the support they need. We have basically a community. We have a Win developer community with more than 1,000 developers worldwide from different companies sharing insights on how to build integrations on the API that exists over there. And we start this community, and it's really helping each other build things much faster. So most of the time, it's really depends on, how much effort you will put in your end. We will provide the best, let's say, supportability. We will answer questions if you might have in our community. And the goal from our end that we will not be the blocker when other partner in Win needs to build integration. That's why we didn't go with the approach of, oh, upload us your code, we will certify your code. No, we do have certification in place. By the way, Win has a 7-step program. It's applying to Win. We do due diligence to see who you are. You sign the legal agreement. You get into to the code phase, and then certification, which is like we just want to validate that what you build bring value and you actually use the right APIs, and then go live. It's a very simple approach. Okay, it's very lightweight.
Nice.
I think without doing this very lightweight approach from one hand, having said that, a very robust program, API, and the platform behind the scene, we wasn't able to get to a scale from 0 to 300 within 3.5 years.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's impressive. I mean, 300's a lot. Like, I mean, again, you and I have been through this before, and we were doing 510 back then, and that was like a lot.
You
And
differ.
300's, I love how you built out the platform for this. So that's really good. I think one of the things I want to get your kind of perspective on here as we kind of tie this up, because we're actually doing what we call the Art of Security Summit in April, right before RSA, like the week before RSA. So and we're bringing together people to kind of get a better perspective as they and kind of build up their roadmap by looking at, how do you avoid, reduce, or transfer risk from a security perspective, and give people a roadmap for what to go look at RSA. You talk to all these partners all the time. I see you at the shows. What is your perspective on just the partnership landscape in cybersecurity these days? Because it's one thing to say that you have a partner program. It's another thing to have 300, other ISVs in that program.
Yeah, so in order for answering that, it's also very interesting to see, our journey. 3 years ago, even more than that, Wiz was all about everything runs in the cloud, right? So when we connect to the different cloud environments, you're able to see everything through the agentless approach. And then in order to do the better, let's say, democratization, we say, okay, now if we want also the developers to be engaged, we need also to shift left. By shifting left, then we also able to create IDE integrations, connect to your repository, connect to your CI/CD pipeline, and bring in value for the developers while they are building the code. Okay, and each time that we add, we basically move to another place. Okay, we basically manage to even open even more the integration ecosystem, because if now we are also shifting left and having the capability for developers to engage with Wiz, okay, find things in code while you're building the code earlier in the process, because it's much easier to fix in the shift left, right, than fixing things in the cloud. That's opened the gate to more integrations and more partnerships. And then we shield to the right. Shielding to the right, basically, we want also to address and help the incident response team and the SOC team. So we basically create our Wiz runtime sensor that can be installed on Kubernetes, Linux, VM, and Windows, and collecting real-time events from the cloud, and find and detect threats that is actually happen in your environment in runtime, and manage to prevent them. So when we shield right, that's also open the gate. Okay, now any other ISV that has running telemetries, other services in the cloud that has like CloudTrail logs and etc., for example, we'll be able to ingest this data, okay, and that introduce more partnership. Now, our approach was Wiz as an open security platform. Each time that we expand to more area, obviously there are partners that become an overlap solutions. And the goal is an open security platform. And we are also partnering with some of our competitors. Again, not the direct competitors, but an overlap solution. One of the example is DSPM space. We have our own Wiz DSPM capability. We have the capability to scan for data misconfiguration in data, data classification, find data finding, PII, PHI, etc. But if you are want to use other scanners in the market that do DSPM, great. You can bring your own DSPM signals into Wiz, because it's much better to do the correlation. And our latest acquisition with DAS even bring that to a whole new level. You know, with Wiz becoming a UVM, now we are able to collect data from Qualys, from Tenable, Rapid7, and others. And guess what? Wiz has an official partnership with Qualys. People actually are amazed about that. And I'm super happy that also Qualys see the approach of an open security platform, and happy to collaborate with us, even though we do have overlap solutions in some places. And I think this approach, it's what best for the customers are best for us. And it's less important who detect the signals.
Yeah, no, I think it actually raises the value of your platform. We're big fans of open from that perspective. Against everybody's going to have co-opetition. That is one of the things you need to, again, focus down. And I think you guys really hit it right with that. And I really appreciate you coming on board again. Hopefully I'll see you at RSA in a little bit over a month and a half from now. I'm excited. There's a lot going on in this market, and we didn't even get down into the nitty gritty of the graph and all this other neat stuff that you do underneath the hood that makes all of this possible, which you and I could nerd out for probably another half an hour on that stuff, because that to me is also really neat about how you do bring all those signals together with your technology to really present that coherent picture to the end user, because you kind of got to the whole platform engineering aspect of it, and you kind of talk about shift left, I talk about meet in the middle, because people, the devs get a little skeptical when you say, well, shift left. Well, that now it's my problem. Now I got to do a lot more work, because you've been on that side of things. So, but I like how you presented it, and shield right, and I think that's really important stuff. So
by the way,
yeah,
that's you are so right. The Wiz security graph is the key thing that help us connect everything: the cloud, the shift left, the shield right. Better to do the better, let's say, the toxic combination, reducing the risk. Yes, so it's all about bringing everything into one single platform, do the correlation, and help you do better prioritization.
I love it, man. And so thanks, Oren, thanks for coming on board today. This has been great. I think, again, I think this is the first of many we'll get to talk about as you guys, grow to 600. Let's as you get to 600 integrations and stuff like that. So thanks for coming on board today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. And I'm looking forward to see you in person in RSA.
Awesome. See you soon, man. And thank you for watching this episode of the Analyst Angle, and stay tuned for more as we'll be at KubeCon, Cloud Native Con next week in London, RSA the following month after that. We also have our Art of Security Summit that's being run by Jackie McGuire towards the end of April. So stay tuned for that. Lots coming in this space. So stay tuned to what we're doing here on theCUBE, the leader in tech analysis and news. See you soon.